Hello and welcome back to One Wild Topic, where we get you one wild step closer to some of your favorite animals, proudly sponsored by Peoples. Today we're going to be talking all about animal introductions, which we've had a few of here at the zoo in the past few months.
A lot.
And today I'm joined by Kelsey Forbes, who's been in a ton of episodes. She's our Curator of Mammals here at the zoo. So, Kelsey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing good. We recently had a really big introduction that people have been nonstop talking about online, Hondo the lion.
Yes.
So my main question is, what is the first step when you're introducing a male lion to an already existing pride?
Yeah, so the first step is not that exciting. So it is paperwork. So we take a look at all of the lions in the pride. So we looked at Scarlet and Abana's history, we looked at Hondo's history, and we came together as a team with outside help. We actually contacted the SSP coordinator and came up with this great plan. And this plan, I believe off the top of my head, it was like 16 pages long and detailed, like, if this lion does this, we do this. And we kind of accounted for everything, but obviously we can't account for everything. So we reviewed the plan, we all felt comfortable with it, and then the next first step was bringing him in. So we brought him in. We were very lucky that we were able to quarantine him down in our building, and he was able to see our female lions the entire time, which really accelerated our introduction process to him. So with him being able to see, that's what's called a howdy. So essentially think of the animals as saying howdy. They get to see both Hondo and the girls, their daily routines, got to see a little bit about their personalities. There was a lot of longing looks between both of them. They would kind of just...
prolonged eye contact.
Yeah, especially between Hondo and Scarlet. They would just kind of stare at each other. It was really cute. Then when we all felt we were comfortable and he passed his quarantine period, we ended up doing mesh-to-mesh contact. So it's a little bit more in your face. We expect to see some spitting, some growling. We actually didn't see too much of it. They seemed really, really excited to be next to each other. And then when we all felt comfortable, had the staff, we opened up the doors inside. And we decided based on their behavior that we were going to do a all lion introduction. If we saw something a little bit concerning, we saw a lion not really wanting to participate, like if Abana wasn't feeling it that day or Scarlet wasn't feeling it that day, they would have the option to sit out, but we never saw that with the girls. Yeah, we just, we observed behavior, we watched, we were ready to intervene if needed. We actually didn't need to intervene. It was knock on wood, a very smooth introduction. It only took about 30 days for them to be introduced.
Aside from prolonged eye contact and love at first sight, if you want to say,
Yeah.
what are some signs that animal introduction is going well?
So it's dependent on the species. So looking at our lions, we looked for not wanting to leave. We looked for them wanting to be near each other. So when we were in that howdy stage, all the lions would kind of be in the same section of rooms. So we have our internal introductions were done with 4 rooms. We had 4 bedrooms for them. So they would all be in the back rooms, or they'd all be in the front rooms. We had given our female lions, because they were typically on exhibit during this time, and when we'd bring them in for the introductions, but we would give them access all the time, so they had the choice to be inside or outside, and they were choosing to be inside near him. We saw a lot of that. We saw chuffing. We saw a lot of, when we were full mesh to mesh, a lot of rubbing against the mesh, wanting to be near each other. A lot of peeing, surprisingly. Lions will communicate through their urine and kind of give out some hormones. So we saw our female lions peeing, and then when we switch over, Hondo would go smell the pee, and then he'd make this really funny response called a Flehmen response. If you've ever seen a horse do it, their lips are up like this. And then during the introduction process, the same things. The rubbing on each other, headbutting is a big one, just like your cats at home. And just generally wanting to be near each other. Our biggest success, obviously, was breeding, because we did see a little bit of that. Not sure if it's successful or not, so stay tuned. But we did see a lot of them just wanting to be near each other. And if you come to the zoo today, they're all within probably 10 feet of each other. They're choosing to rest to each other, rest nest to each other, and then they're doing a really cool thing and letting Hondo lead the way. So they're letting him shift everyone inside. So he gets to be the first one to go in or out. And then he gets to kind of choose the spots, which is just a great lion thing to see.
Awesome. So we recently had a siamang introduction.
We did.
What did that process look like, and how did it, obviously it's probably going to differ from big cats.
Yeah. So very similar. Like the introduction process is pretty the same across the board for mammals at least. Begins with that, the longing stage, the howdy stage, essentially mesh to mesh, and then full contact. Very very similar actually. It also was surprisingly smooth. We were excited about that. So they were mesh to mesh. There was a lot of, the biggest thing is both of them seemed unsure of each other. So we wanted to create more situations where they could be next to each other. We didn't see a lot of mesh to mesh, but we didn't see anything terribly that would be considered a bad thing. So when we moved to the full contact face to face, they were a little hesitant around each other. We did a lot of cooperative feeding to kind of build up that relationship. And then they just spent a lot of time getting to know each other. They spent a lot of time away from each other in rooms, and they got closer and closer as they got to know. I mean, if you think of it, it's like, when you move in with a roommate you've never met, you met off online, and then you're like, I don't know how you feel about this, and then you slowly become friends over time.
Were there any interesting steps in introducing warty pigs?
Yeah, so pigs are interesting to begin with because they are, they're a very social species, especially our warty pigs, and our new warty pig, Grover, came from, we believe, an all-male coalition. So females were weird for him, I think, to begin with. He was like, you're not what I'm used to. And then our females are a lot older, and they've been used to males. So they kind of ran the introduction, which was nice. They were very interested in him. We had to deal with him being a little bit more shy. And the girls kind of showing when typically it's the other way around. Mm-hmm. That also was a really smooth one. I don't know why they were all smooth. Normally they're not this smooth.
Well, it's a 3 for 3.
Right, exactly. We'll go for 4 for 4.
So there is a potential future where we have some little cubs about. Are you prepared for cubs?
Oh yeah. I say that confidently. Yes. Yeah, we are very excited to have cubs again here. We are in constant contact with the SSP. We're already writing birth plans just in case. We were granted permission from them to essentially breed both of them, so we could have 2 pregnant females, and we are prepared for that.
2 litters of cubs?
2 litters of cubs, but we're hopeful they'll spread them out. It'd be really cool if we did have 2, because we would be able to see a really cool natural behavior and have that cooperative. Just that'd be very exciting. Yes, we are prepared.
So my final question. What does pregnancy testing look like for big cats? Do you have like a giant pregnancy test, like clear blue that you slide under them? Like,
no.
What does it look like?
So for primates, yes, we can use pregnancy tests like that.
Wow.
But for big cats, there's a couple different ways. The most common and clear, concise method is either an X-ray or an ultrasound, which both of our lions are currently getting trained for. So for the X-ray, we actually have a chute that we come and they line them up. And we're able to put an X-ray plate behind it, and we can shoot them through, and we can count how many little skeletons are in there, and we have a good number. For ultrasound, it's a little bit trickier because they have to stand for an extended period of time, and our girls are not the most active in standing. We'll say they get a little lazy. It is a long duration period. But we are working on trying to get them to do that, and then we're able to essentially, check the heartbeat and things like that. So our first step is training for the X-ray, which we are fairly close to getting done. So we'll be able to at least know how many that is. Lion's gestation period is about 103 to 110 days or so. So 106 is the average, just under 3 months, or just over 3 months, excuse me. And typically they start showing, and we can see when they're about that 30-day mark. So, every 30 days we'll be testing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
joining me today. I've learned so much already. And thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, we will see you at the zoo.